Hello, welcome back. This is episode 2. I am Ed Bruehl, bringing you your Hamptons Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by Christie's International Real Estate Group in East Hampton Village, 26 Park Place. Hope you can swing by and see us. I wanted to start by saying thank you to all of the town and county and village workers who absolutely kicked ass all night long. I like to go for a late run sometimes. It's been a good habit lately, and it's been quite stormy. But you get out there on the roads, and these guys are plowing snow from 2 to 5 in the morning. So when you wake up, you're complaining about the berm in front of your house that you got to shovel out. Thank God for all the hard work they do to make this community run and function. It's just mind-blowing. So thank you all for all you do. I couldn't be more grateful. All right, so we're on episode 2, and I want to start by saying thank you to those who gave me feedback on episode 1. It mattered, and it was helpful, and I appreciate you reaching out and steering me in the right direction and giving me coaching on what works and what doesn't work. So my first week, we brought out Pierre DeBoss. He was amazing, an attorney. He shared a bunch of valuable tools for those of my customers and clients who like to buy and sell real estate. It was awesome. But as my mom always taught me, you do the right thing and you make sure it's balanced. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to come on this pod every day or every week and talk about real estate and open houses and listings. That's just not what speaks to me. I care about this land. I care about this community. And I didn't know who my second guest was going to be. I literally just left it out to the universe thinking somebody special will come on and introduce themselves, and it happened. I was on a listing pitch. It went great. Overly great, but I'm not going to talk about that now. And Chuck McQuinney was the one who was walking us through a property and an idea and sharing a story. And before we even got there, he starts telling me about this side hustle he's got. But he leads with, and this is 2 guys in the cold in jackets getting emotional about him telling me a story about Marit, a local powerhouse who for the last 2 to 3 years has been helping the local community, like really helping it. It's called the Hampton Community Outreach, and I'm talking cars, renovations, food, donations, dental work, just absolutely miraculous work. And poof, she's here. I can't wait to introduce you to her. She has a terrific story, and I know she's going to want to go right into the nuts and bolts, but I'm going to kind of try to pick her brain here so we can scale into this story because I think it's special. So, Marit, before I introduce you, could I just ask you to tell a little bit about how you got here and then how you got to Hampton's Community Outreach? Because there's a lot of people in my life who want to do what you've done and still haven't done it. And you've actually done it and made it work, and you've inspired a lot of people, so me included. Please share some of the intro story before we get into the nuts and bolts. Appreciate it.
Sure. So I moved out here about 10 years ago. And I, just like many other people, think of the Hamptons as a very wealthy place, which it is. But what I did not know was that in between the mansions are pockets of deeply impoverished people. Children who go to school without a coat, children who go to school with shoes that are too small, parents that just don't have enough food to feed their children. And I was shocked to learn that. And once I started finding things out, I dug deeper and started talking to more people and going out in the community. And I realized that there was a huge gap in the system. There's just not enough help out here local for people. So that inspired me to start Hampton's Community Outreach.
Okay, so hold on. I get the problem. It's absolutely tear-jerking. How did you move into solution mode? Rather than being distressed and overwhelmed by it, how did you move into actually creating a solution? Because what you describe is a global and a national problem, right? I don't know a single zip code on the planet that doesn't have these exact problems.
Right.
And it's in Beverly Hills, and it's in the Hamptons, and it's in Manhattan, right? So, but how do we solve it? How could we be a community that gets in front of it, does it different, and solves it? And you've just done something that's so beyond the pale. Talk about the specifics of how you did it. Like, how did you actually take resources and energy and your juice and provide philanthropic gift giving to get to the actual local roots?
Yeah, so it actually involves anger.
Yeah.
And that sounds strange, I'm sure. Anger is not a trait that's like forbidden in society, and I get that. But for me, I feel angry. That anger fueled me to start to do something.
And then what did you do?
Yeah, so the first step was to, so the camp is Hamptons Art Camp.
And those donations from local people gave you the resources to open our camp, right? Okay, so just stay there, hold on. The reason I'm staying in that is that I see the problem everywhere. I know it's specific to here, and that's what we're talking about. For example, I was in the city 7, 8 days ago, and Starbucks was closing. And they must have thrown out hundreds of dollars worth of food, right? While the homeless were sitting in the Starbucks. And I thought to myself, there's a classic disconnect. And the same thing here, right? How many toys do my children, as they grow out of them, right? They grow out of markers. That could be somehow it's systematically gifted to or shared with, so the abundance stays in the community. You know what I mean? But that's somebody has to do the magical work, you know? So tell me how you turned that into a project that started mattering.
Yeah, so then I had to fundraise, and I at that time did not know how to fundraise. I had an idea what it looked like, but I didn't know that I could fundraise. So what I
How many years earlier are we?
This is winter of 2018.
18, okay, got it.
Spring 2018. And I would reach out to local clubs and organizations such as Southampton Lions Club, Kiwanis clubs, beach clubs, tennis clubs, and I would send letters to wealthy individuals. And I would ask for something small. I said to them, can you sponsor one child? Can you be the reason why this one child will have a really fun summer? And people responded well. They gave me the $500 that I needed. And so then I had $500 per underserved child. And then I also did some marketing so that I got paying children, like privileged children from the city, local privileged children. And so the combination of the funds raised with the paying children, that enabled me to open the doors for Hamptons Art Camp that first summer.
Okay, hold on. You're jumping ahead. This is really exciting. So to me, there was a hook in there where you had to drop a sales pitch to a very niche group of folk you had never spoke to before. Did you do it? What'd you ask for?
Well,
Like, how'd you actually break that down?
I'll say it's kind of easy for me because this topic makes me emotional. The fact that these children had nothing.
I know, but if you just tear jerk, that's not, you had to have pitched it correctly. So my question is, how'd you do it? How'd you actually ask for the first round?
Without to give away my secret.
Please, that's what I'd like to hear.
Like I talked about anger before.
Yeah.
Okay. Like when I fundraising, I mix in a little bit of you. If you are too sweet and you just say, oh, will you please sponsor a child camp, or please give money to my nonprofit? It doesn't work as well as if I say to someone, how do you feel about the fact that there are children in your community with nothing to do all summer?
And it's the request. So now you hit me. This is where I got hit, guys. So now I'm glad you're hearing this. Let's go to specifics. So when I drilled down with Marit and Chuck's role within the Hamptons Community Outreach is?
He is a construction program supervisor.
Okay.
He supervises all the construction.
Okay.
And he also handles the car program, purchasing, inspections, titles.
Got it. Okay, so a lot of this is being assumed because I haven't told the story yet, but I'll try to wrap it up as cleanly as possible. I've found that, let's say we have one dynamic philanthropic investor interested in considering helping such a cause, right? Local cause. They're tired of perhaps investing in locations that are either arm's length or with entities they don't know exactly where their funds are going to. So philanthropic, let's use grandma, is considering her options. And if she was to donate $1 million, just using round numbers, to Hamptons Community Outreach, right? Check out this production. Chuck and team, right, with Marit, will build 3 new houses. That's $200,000 a house. And then with $350,000, they will rehab 15 to 20, talking mold remediation, fixing windows, fixing roofs, fixing plumbing, solving problems on houses that aren't working, heating. They'll also add medical, dental, food, and then the extra $50,000 gets 5 cars. That's in with cars where he gets. So to me, like that's an amazing local way to give philanthropically where you know that your gifts go to the soil with which you live on. The reason I broke it out is because not everyone understands. Look, I get it. We can ask for, and I will. She's throwing it, Hampton Community Outreach is throwing an event on February 7th from 5 to 7. And we need to sell out a few more tickets. That link will be here. We'll find some way to tag that. Angel and team will share that. But this is my request really is, why do the gift giving circuits go only one time per year and during the holiday season? When these families locally across the world, nationally, locally, need the support monthly. So for those of us who have, right, and we go through our spring cleaning or our winter cleaning, what do? Sometimes I will gift to LVIS. That feels right to me, right? To give back to LVIS and becomes a thrift item and it goes back to the community. Love that. Would I feel better if you're asking me that a jacket of mine went towards a family? Yeah, I'd feel better with that. So those are my options. I'd like to know that there's options. So please teach me about what else I can, share and do and make this community stronger and better.
No one kind of knew what was going to happen with the world right in the spring of 2020. So during 2020, when I could not fundraise for the camp anymore, I reached out to different struggling communities and I asked them, I told them I can't fundraise for the camp. How can I help you? And all of them said that they needed food. So I started fundraising for food, and at the end of the year, had raised more than $300,000 just for food alone. And
this was 18, weren't you?
This is 2020.
Oh, okay.
So the camp ran 2018 and 2019, and then in the winter 2020, when I'm very busy fundraising for the camp, I could not fundraise for the camp because most people thought the camps were not going to take place that summer. Everyone was told to stay home. So I then reached out to different communities. I told them, I can't fundraise for the camp. How can I help you? And all of them said that they needed food. So I structured a restaurant delivery system where I raised funds, and then I identified struggling restaurants, and we all know who works in these, kitchens.
Locals,
right,
the locals exactly. We love, I know.
So I didn't want them to get fired during COVID. So I raised funds, and then took those funds, went to restaurants, and paid for meals so that they could stay open. Mm-hmm. And then took the meals and delivered them to struggling communities. It's
just a win-win, though. It was good for the restaurant, it was good for the families, and it was just. But someone had to grease that wheel, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So how did you create an entity whereby someone in the city or living in Miami could, and also has a place here, but it's here only 3-4 months a year, could contribute into their philanthropic, end of year contributions to such a cause, right? How can it be professional enough and upstanding enough and worthy enough to get those eyeballs?
We did that through social media, Facebook and Instagram, and like letter writing and emails.
Okay.
Just reaching out to many people.
Okay.
We had a website, and so we put all the information about what we're doing on the website.
Okay.
So this is end of 2020. We delivered 20,000 pounds of fresh produce, 7,000 hot cooked meals from different local restaurants, and groceries to 250 families bi-monthly. And at that point, we were much more than a camp.
Yeah.
So we became Hampton Community Outreach.
And that hasn't stopped?
No.
That's insane.
And
that's insane.
We became Hampton Community Outreach, and when we were out delivering the meals to different communities, there were people that would come up to me and ask me for things. And that is really how I started finding out about the different needs in the Hamptons.
But to me, I want to dive into the solution, because to me, I see a lot of builders, and I see a lot of abundance, and I see a lot of good people, and I see a lot of people who, since COVID, live here all year.
Right.
And they care all year in a way that is different, profoundly different, right? So these problems are kind of newly surfacing to what was once a summer loop. Right now it's an annual loop, and we just need to address it, look at it, solve it, and do whatever it takes to make things right. And to me, that means leaning on people like you who are doing it right. So walk me through, you created a board, and now we can contribute money toward both you and your entity to continue doing good work. And the numbers you've shared and the numbers I shared, that's just a continuing month to month routine. So if you just got a little bit more, you just have that many more people that get touched.
That's right.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, so Hamptons Community Outreach is registered with IRS. We are an official 501c3, so everyone that makes donations gets tax receipts as a tax deduction. There are also, you can also get a tax deduction for an in-kind service, right? And so people, if they're builders, for example, they can donate labor or donate material, they can get a receipt for that as well.
Yeah, stay with that. There was a fun story that you and Chuck told me about a local builder who got in the loop, and he's like, I don't know, I remembered it something like, do you want cash or do you want services? And it became like, all right. And he just had all his subs showed up, and the windows were fixed and the roof was fixed and the shingles were on, and he used his subs to get work done. I just love stories like that.
Yeah, you're talking about Alex Ford.
Okay.
He's an incredible human being, and he first found out, we made an Instagram post, and we were telling a story about a single dad who had fish buckets taped to his windows. And his friend is a local, Sean Sachs, and Sean called Alex Forden, who's a local builder, and said, we gotta go look at this. And brought them to this neighborhood, and I showed them the house where the single dad lives with his teenage son. And then I went to about another 5 houses. They left shocked. And then Alex said, I have to get involved. And he builds, beautiful, gigantic, very expensive houses. Mm-hmm. But he knows a lot of subs. He knows a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And so he called them and said, we're building a house and for someone in need. And he's also renovated numerous houses for us. And so he called his contacts in the building area and asked them to donate one thing. Like, hey, can you help with the staircase for the single mom? Can you, do the framing or the sheetrocking? And people really want to help. And so they step up. And it's really a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that one hit me. That one hit me hard because it was like, that's my world. Right? You know what I mean? That is exactly my world. Builders, salt of the earth, good people. Yes, they build big, beautiful homes for, wealthy individuals. They're not ashamed of it. They're really good at it. And it's a beautiful career. But do they also care about their community? And if they knew this, would they quickly solve it? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, Alex isn't the only human being out here who's got salt in his blood and he wants to make the community better. You know what I mean? So I was like, how can we bring attention to this pure solution sided so that when situations like we overlook it, we being someone who doesn't have, bags on my windows, thank God. But when I saw your video and the roof was leaking, these are problems that are not out of reach. And the limit of homes is finite. This isn't beyond the pale, right? So a few more $1 million into your fund gets a few more 100 or 1,000 homes solved. And then isn't it close to done? That can't be that much to ask from this certain range. It's a little island and we're on the tip of the island, right? I'm trying to talk about the east end of Long Island where you cover, and it's a solution that's not beyond reach. So I had to bring it up.
Yeah.
Did I not ask you something, or could I have done that differently, or did I miss anything?
No, I think it's perfect. What you're saying to me is that this is a problem that we can solve. We are in an area with a lot of resources, a lot of help.
Yeah.
And Ed, yes, we can solve it. We've already started.
I know. You have.
We have renovated 70 homes.
Yeah, I love this.
We have constructed 4 homes, and we have just started constructing 4 new homes. We have 64 families on our waiting list. So we're going to keep raising funds, or we're going to keep taking families off of that list.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. Okay, love that. Anything you want to ask me, or anything I didn't ask you?
Well, I'd love to tell you about the Love Sites Gala.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Briefly. So it's February 7th. It's 5 to 7 p.m. in Southampton. The tickets are $200. And
I bought mine last night. You're welcome.
And we are encouraging everyone in the Hamptons to come. I mean, we're going to sell out soon, but please get a ticket and please come, please support, because with that $200, you will provide groceries for one struggling family for one.
So 200 is a family for a week. Those are the specifics that are so. And what about jackets or shoes or, you know what I mean? How about little things? You had told me you had a list of sort of specific little things that are also, I'm going to go asking for the ultra high net worth philanthropic, you know what I mean, partner who thinks this makes sense. But there's also a lot we can all do, right? So could you share some of those?
Sure. Yeah, so we recently got a DM actually in the last couple of days from a local hairdresser.
Cool.
And she said, I'm putting a bin in my salon and I'm putting it on Facebook and Instagram and sending emails and asking people to come and help fill that bin. And when she said, what can I collect from people that come to my salon or even, people that just, live in the or work nearby. And I said, always looking for shampoo and conditioner and soap. Snacks. There are children who come home and there are no snacks in the house. We also give snacks to homeless people. We obviously feed them, but if someone wants to collect snacks, it's a great way to help. Hats.
And how do we get that to you?
You can send us a DM or send us an email.
Okay, so after this is over, we'll find some way to make sure there's a link tree to what you do, both for the ticket and then also for simple fundraising or bigger ideas.
Absolutely.
And if somebody wanted to talk to you about building or a car contribution. So you have a list of people who are in need of a car. Chuck then has extra assets. Chuck uses his magic wand and pulls off some $10,000. Yeah, walk me through that.
So we at HVO collects the funds.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Okay.
And then we have a person who is a car dealer. And so we get a car pretty much for 50% of what the price would be here.
Yeah, nice.
And then we distribute these cars. People have to apply for a car. That's important for people to know.
And who's vetting? Who's doing the vetting there? Is that you and the team?
We have a staff of 4 people.
Right on.
And so last year, 2025, we gave out 20 cars.
Last year, 20?
In 20 cars last year.
That's the goal. Yeah, no.
So our donors, if you can have a car to donate, or you can donate funds so we can buy a used car, you are changing lives.
That's beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. Right on. Well, sheesh. Okay. Well, that's a solution. And I know it's a problem, but let me ask you this. Is there any way that you see this going away? Come on, give me an optimistic. Optimistically, if all of a sudden we raise 10, 15, 20,000, 20 million bucks.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying, could you see it? Could you see it going away? How much does it cost?
Well, I can tell you that to help everyone on our waiting list for home repair, that would be $4.5 million.
Okay, so that gets the 65 people on the waiting list done and solves the car and the outstanding. Okay.
That's our home repair program. We need $4.5 million.
And how much do you have in the queue right now? You guys are okay?
We are seeking funding for 2 more houses right now.
Okay, got it.
But for our car program, we have 6 people on the waiting list. And the cars that we purchase are typically around $10,000, maybe 12 or 13.
So in order for you to have hope, you need to see it. Well, you've already had good support. You know what I mean? That's the one thing about you. You're not hoping this works out. Like, you already have a committed team. You built a board. The board is not trivial, right? You really did it. And now we can grow it, or you can grow it. And in order to grow it, right, if we contribute to the till, does the machine keep running? And it sounds to me like you got a staff, you got a good board, you've got the Chucks and you've got the cars, then it's just a matter of funds.
Yes.
Right? And if it's just a matter of funds, then how much is it and could it go away? My point is, could it go away? And could we set the Hamptons as an example? Right? I love that it's the story in the headline right now, right? You know what I mean? Problem in rich community. I get it. But that's a global phenomenon. And if we could get in front of it and solve it with committed, minded human beings that don't just put their arms up in the air and do what you did, come on.
Yeah.
This is so small. It just seems so trivial to me. Maybe I'm missing it, but it's just with someone like you and a little bit of money and a 15 chucks, this thing is done. Like, because Alex isn't the only builder out here who could throw a crew over there once or twice a year. And if it was coordinated, like, okay, right? Because if you went through there and saw these problems, for those of us who don't know, and I watched a bunch of videos and learned a lot, it's small stuff. It's small stuff, right? One spot of the house has a leak in the corner that just isn't remedied.
Right.
If it was, it would change everything. The house would be warmer. You know what I mean? It's just it's small things that we knew we could fix, and that just hit. The little stuff hit me, you know?
I'll share with you that in 2024, we raised $3.5 million.
Okay, that's what. Thank you for sharing that.
Last year, 25, we raised a little bit less than that, maybe 3.4, 3.3, 3.4. But we have incredible, incredibly generous people that are supporting us.
That is amazing. So $3 million raised 2 years in a row, spent wisely, families' lives changed. Big, huge fundraiser come February 7th.
Yeah.
And then once this is over, what happens next? How do we stay in touch? How do we get updates? Like, to me, I don't want to be done here. Like, this is one of my 3 anchors to what I care about. How do we solve the affordable housing problem? Period. This is how I'm playing this mentally. It's an affordable housing problem, right? If your house is leaking, and you can't fix it, right? That must be remedied. Right. We can't go building, and again, this is just me talking to you guys, but I want to share it with you personally, is I was torn talking to Marit and Chuck when the pitch became we could build a bunch of new houses. Love it, because it became fun, and then I was like, oh my gosh, we get builders to build a bunch of houses. But you can't go into communities and build new houses when houses need quick remedies. So back to the math, right? $1 million raised, 3 new houses, and then 20 got rehabbed. These rehabs are 20 families plus who now have a nice, warm, cozy house with windows that don't leak and rails that work, and it's legit. So I don't know, the simple stuff, let's not overlook it. You know what I mean? Let's not overlook it. I want to build new houses. I love that. I've tried that. I believe in that. I think it's the future. But there's a lot of homes out there that we all don't know, and the Alexes now know, that could be quickly fixed. 4 hours sometimes. I'm telling you, a crew of that size, and I've seen these guys roll through. I hate to say guys, but on the cold construction side, it's 8 guys get out of a truck, and the amount of work they can do in 4 hours is inhuman. But in that neighborhood, when it's a this and a that and a this and that, I'm telling you, it's done. These are quick fixes, right? If we just put the resources and you weren't there. There was nobody to lube the wheel, right? If you throw resources at it, where does it go? Or am I sure it's going to get remedied? This is a remedy, and we can prove this. And I'm going to lean on this for the rest of my pod.
It's life-changing.
It is life-changing. There's no question. And it changes the lives of the people in my community, therefore making my community stronger. That's all we care about. That's the whole story. So I'm going to end it there unless you want to bring up something or you want to talk something. Yeah.
So I would love for people to go to our website, hamptonscommunityoutreach.org. Also, please follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Instagram handle is Hampton Community Outreach. There are we put out requests all the time, but please follow us on social media and please go to our website to learn more. And also on our website, there's a banner on top that says the Love Fest. And so the Love Fest is the party on February 7th. And with a $200 ticket, you can change that.
Oh, God bless. And where is that?
It's in Southampton.
Or at a restaurant or?
No, it's at an event space.
Okay.
230 Elm. It's right pretty much next door.
Yeah, good.
To the train station.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. Good. Thank you so much. Marit, I want to thank you for being here and for doing what you do and for caring about the community and making it better and for leaning on me and those of us who can make a difference. And for the tools that we have, we will make a difference. And thank you very much for being here. And I look forward to seeing you at the show or your Friday night party. And thanks again for all your work. So, Angel, do we have listings?
We do. We have 3 Sycamore Way, Unit 5B in Watermill.
Okay, great. Yeah, I like this listing. Awesome. So this is a Watermill Crossing townhouse, one of 34 available currently, under $3 million. I'm calling it a 4-bed, 3-bath, 3-floor, beautiful back patio, blue stone. You get a garage, you get a stoop, you get a clubhouse, you get a walk to Jitney, and it's super easy for the family to get in and out of and use it and rent it. I just think it's a terrific investment. Absolutely terrific. I think Sebastian's covering open house from 11 to 12:30 on Saturday. So if the weather's not horrible and you're around, go by and see that. It's a great unit. That's a great unit. Yeah, I think that's just mathematically smart. Second, Angel, do we have another one? Yeah, there's a quiet.
We do have a quiet oncoming listing at 140 Hands Creek in East Hampton.
Yeah, I like this a lot. So this is rare. So we are on the fringe of East Hampton, and we are over 4 acres, asking $3.5 million. And I like this one. Very rarely do you have a piece of land that's this big on the fringe of the village. We don't have to drive too deep into the woods. So yes, it's a smart listing.
Oh, what about the vineyard in California?
Oh yeah, I love this. Okay, so this is unique. I come to Christie's and I have a client interested in selling a piece or a partnership interest in a spectacular artisanal winery in California. I'm not going to say the location, but it's in prime artisanal wine country. And he hired me to get a partner, bring a buyer, because one, I was at Christie's, and two, I was on the East Coast. He cannot have this banter, right? Can't market it, can't advertise it. Literally just a quiet, make some special phone calls, whisper it on the podcast. Here you go, I'm whispering it. Can't say the name, can't say anything more than that. But if you have any interest in a very unique artisanal winery in California, it is unbelievable, and I would love to tell you about it. Was there anything else? What about the auction house?
Well, coming up in February, we do have Antiquities. That's the 29th through the 2nd. The Old Masters is the 29th through February 3rd. And then there is the extremely rare work by Michelangelo for the Sistine Chapel.
Nice.
That's February 5th.
Nice. Okay, did you get that? So Christie's auction house, and here's the secret, right? Tickets on me. It's open to the public. The auction house is open to the public. So the trick is timing it out so that the rare works are on preview before the live auction. So next week it's going to be February 2, 3, 4, and 5 will be the live auction. So you can see the works 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's absolutely unbelievable. And it's worth seeing, and it's fun to watch. You can stream the auctions, you can get involved, and I think it's super exciting. So thank you for that. Yes, go by. And if you're in the city, please make sure to poke me or text me, because I will be at my Rockefeller office above the auction house, or I'll be here. But if there's a reason to go in the city and enjoy some art or a gathering at the Rockefeller Center, that doesn't bother me there. So cool. Thank you for that. That's exciting. And then I will whisper one more thing. So I was going to do a pod every single week, but next Wednesday I will be away. I have been invited by the CEO of Christie's, Gavin Schwartzman, to a get-together at Chicago's Four Seasons. And I am absolutely thrilled to network with a very unique group of Christie's agents, and I look forward to sharing feedback from that gathering thereafter. Again, thanks for everything. Thanks for the feedback last week. Thanks for getting through this week, and I look forward to episode 3, either before or after next Wednesday, but either way, it's in the future, and thanks again for a great show.
Discover a life less ordinary. Your world, perfected. Discover yours at christiesrealestate.com.